This is Hatfield House. Woo!
What was an open loggia, but is now an armoury. You'll see that later. And the guests would walk in here, and this would be the first room they'd see. 2 stories high and almost the full width of the house. The ceiling would have been white, because it was a Jacobean house, so it had all Jacobean ceilings of white. And it was painted in 1878 by Taldini, who came over from Italy to paint it. The crest is Robert's crest, and it says Sero sed serio, which translates to late but in earnest. He waited a long time to serve his beloved Queen Elizabeth, following his father's footsteps. And he's saying, my lady, I come too late, but I come in earnest. The gallery is not a minstrel's gallery, it's a walkway. The King James drawing room is the next room we will go into. And in that room, if the king was holding audience or did not want to be disturbed, the Queen and the servants would use this as a walkway from one side of the house to the other. The paintings that here mean something. And we're so lucky to have 2 original portraits of Elizabeth in this house. People say, where are the real ones? Are they in a vault in London? These are the real ones. And these are the originals. And this is the rainbow portrait. The Queen is holding a very muted coloured rainbow. It's by Isaac Oliver, who was her court painter and miniaturist. And above the rainbow says non sine sole iris, which translates to no rainbow without the sun. Elizabeth is the sun. She has created the rainbow. The rainbow symbolises peace. Don't go by how she looks. She would never be portrayed as over 35. By now, she has been on the throne a long, long time. She was born in 1533. The Spanish Armada was 1588. This is way beyond that. So talk about airbrushing, but this is how she wishes to portray herself. Right, so you've entered the King James drawing room. King James is in the fireplace. It's made of stone, not bronze, painted to look like bronze. It's said to be 6 foot from toe to top of the ground. There are over 70 paintings in here now. Obviously, we won't put you through all of them, but one of the most important, obviously, is the one you're facing, and it is the second portrait of Elizabeth I. And this is by Nicholas Hilliard, who is a goldsmith and miniaturist. So there's a lot of gold on this, and I think you'll agree any miniaturist could have captured that rough. It's exquisite work. And it's called the Ermine portrait. And she has a stoat on her arm, and it's winter coat of ermine. And the ermine reflects her purity, the crown her royalty. She's holding an olive branch. She's telling you she's brought peace to the country. She's wearing her pearls, black or white. They symbolise her purity and her virginity. And this is the sword of state, the same sword of state that goes in and out of the Tower of London today. 3 or 4 weeks ago, it would be used for opening Parliament. They'd hold it aloft. Our 5th Marquis held this sword aloft at our Queen's coronation. So it's still, as I say, used for all public and state occasions. And on the hilt of the sword is the date of the portrait, 1585. So the Queen is 52. I think she looks older than downstairs, where she's 67, but she's 52. And this is what's called a panel portrait. A lot of the older portraits were painted on wood, and this is one of them. Salisbury, the 7th Marquis, who lives in the East Wing with his wife Hannah, he commissioned Rupert Brown of Dorset to make this desk. It took 2 years to make, and 5,000 hours of work have gone into it. It represents a boar hunt in 1610, and they used to call it the Cranbourne Chase. And every Earl and Countess and every Marquis and Marchioness, and there have been 14 generations. They are so good at producing sons. So from Robert Cecil down, it's very rare. Father to son, father to son, inherited, like our present Marquis is inherited over 400 years worth of art. So he wants you to see as much as possible of it. So this is why you've got so much in here. And everyone with their wives, so there's 28 people represented on this desk in marquetry, all doing their favourite pursuits. So our present Marquis is in the knee hole. He's talking to his prize pigs. He rears rare breed pigs. Robert Sissel, who built the house, he loved falconry, so there he is with a falcon on his arm. There's his son, William, who wasn't really political, but he loved country pursuits like hunting and fishing. So he's doffing his hat to his father. And this lady here was Lady Emily Mary Hill. She brought this house to life. All the furniture you see in it mainly is brought in by her in George III's time. And she, at the age of 85, was still riding to hounds, almost blind, and her groom would tie her on the horse and slap the horse's rump and say, "Damn you, my lady, jump," and she was still getting over the jumps at that age. What are these long galleries for? Anybody know? Do you know why they would build a long gallery in a stately home? Anybody? Exercise. Thank you very much. Are you with this floor or that floor? You're with the other one. Okay, I didn't see where you came from. Sorry. Okay, right. This is the winter dining room. Originally, this was Prince Henry, Crown Prince Henry, James I's Crown Prince son. It was his bedroom and his drawing room. And that north gallery I just showed you with the cradle in, that was a pallet chamber. And his servants would lay out there on straw mattresses, and then if they would come through those doors to serve them. He died in 1700, so it was later used for bedrooms for any important visitor that came, and then it was made into a dining room in the late 18th century. You can turn and look out of the window. Okay. Now this is the library. It was the Queen's chambers. Queen Anne of Denmark. This was her chambers. And they made it into a library in the late 18th century. There are 10,000 books in here. They range from Darwin, house records, paperback love stories upstairs, the whole gambit. And the furniture, once again, was brought in by the first Marchioness. I told you about her, and was recovered in the 70s. And there is a lovely mosaic of Robert up there, the man who built this house. Henry Wotton, who was the English ambassador then, he gave that to Robert in 1608 and asked him to magnify the best effect. So when the fireplace was completed by Maximilian Coles, they made sure there was an aperture to put that in. Robert had a sensibility. He had twisted back and displayed foot. Now, downstairs, the only toilet already he ever had. Pure ivory, you would not be allowed to make it today. Yeah, absolutely. This was a present from the Emperor of China to George III. George III got in touch with that lady Emily Mary Hill and said that he had a gift for her. So she went up to London with her carriage, thinking she would have a brooch or something like that. And she's faced with this. Wonderful, beautiful, but how am I going to get it back to Hatfield? You put it in a carriage, it would shake it to pieces. So she commissioned 2 men, and they made up a stretcher. In 23 miles, they walked it back. And we've got the evidence in our archives. The bill is there, bed and board, 2 nights, £1, 19 shillings and 6pence, and they got it back here, perfect. You are now walking on the last existing drawing in this house of 16 years old. So imagine the ladies in their long dresses sweeping through there. Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you. Right, so are we all here? Now these windows are original. 1611. They're made by French, English and Dutch artists. They are the Old and New Testament themes, many of which you can probably recognise. So the top row, second one in, Moses in the bulrushes. Come over to the end there, Jacob and ladder. Come down here, second from the right in the middle, lady holding a hunky man and holding up a lock of his hair. Anybody know who that is?
Samson and Delilah.
Yes, Samson and Delilah. They come down here and you've got David and Goliath. They get the wonderful red by painting it over gold, and they get the wonderful blue by painting it over silver. They are 1611. During the two wars, they were sandbagged from top to bottom to preserve them. And this chapel is used regularly, has a quarter of an hour service every morning and a full service and every Sunday. Robert had a love of music. This would have been in the King James drawing room, and how the devil they got it down here, don't ask me, it must come to pieces. It's 1609 and it is still played today, and it still sounds wonderful. You can see a video of when they have the